Well, I'm kind of a few months late to the party on this one, but today we're going to be taking a look at the DJI Osmo Pocket. I reviewed the original DJI Osmo, absolutely loved that thing, but it was a little big, a little unwieldy, and the fact that it didn't have a screen on it kind of bugged me. So the fact that this thing is, as small as it is, it has a screen on it, it does 4K 60 video. If you have not heard of this thing, $350 for a camera that does 4K 60 video, in the form factor of it's tiny, it goes in a pocket. And you can of course hook your phone up to it for monitoring and stuff like that. Hopefully I won't have to do that other than just to update it. Let's go ahead and unbox it, take a look at it, do some samples. See in the back part of the packaging here, there's Osmo Shield. More information about paying for Osmo Shield and keeping your products kind of insured through DJI. Then there's this nifty little box. And inside, you get this little carrying case. This is a really neat feature. Oh, that's cool. I don't think I've actually watched an unboxing of the Osmo, so I haven't seen any of this before. Silica gel, handy strap in case you want to use it, quick start guide, safety guidelines, a USB-C cable, and what looks like a couple of adapters. One is USB-C and one is Lightning. Flip them over, you can see the 4 points of connectivity there. This is going to just fit right into the front of the pocket, and then you can attach your phone to the end of it. But anyway, here you can see the DJI Osmo Pocket. So on top you have that 3-axis gimbal. The screen has a cover on it. It says, when using for the first time, follow the steps in the DJI Mimo app. But this one is power and function, and this one is the shutter and record button. And there you can probably see it now is the tiny little screen. I think it's a 1.5-inch screen. And we'll peel this off the front of the lens. Seem to remember the lens, the equivalent is a 26 millimeter, so it's gonna be a little bit tight, but you can always kind of hold it out a little bit farther. And I've seen people using external attachments to put this on a selfie stick or something. One of the big problems that I do see with this camera immediately, when you look at the bottom of it, this is where your USB-C connection is, but no tripod connection, no mounting of any kind. I have already ordered an accessory that's gonna help out with that, but looking on around it again, we've got record button, power button, status LED, microphone. This is the little spot, again, where we're gonna put those connectors if we wanna hook the phone up to it. Micro SD card slot here on the side, nothing on the other side, nothing but DJI branding on the back. And while we're sitting here, let's just go ahead and see if it'll power up. So I'm gonna hold the power button and we'll see what it does. It clicks and it ticks and it says DJI, asks me the language, we'll pick English, device not activated. And as I said, I am a little bit late to the party on this one, but it's actually been sitting here since release day. It's just kind of been lost in the pile, unfortunately. But I'm kind of glad that I did wait now, because there are supposedly some issues with the initial release of this device. And I gotta say, just holding it in the hand, this feels really nice. There were some issues with it though, and they fixed those issues with software updates. So I'm glad I didn't pull it out and immediately get disappointed with it and put it away. Now I can pull it out, update it a bunch of times, and then have a really nice experience out of the box. So this is the app they're telling me to use. It's the DJI Mimo app. It says tap here to connect a device, tap here to select file and start editing. Okay, so we'll tap here to connect the camera. It says use the smartphone adapter to do it, or you can do it with Bluetooth. I'll just pull out the little lightning connector, slide it in place. That is a very firm connection. And then we attach. So I attached it. It says connect the smartphone. I'm guessing it's not able to get far enough in because of my case on the device, although it's not a very thick case. So that's a little bit of a disappointment that I wouldn't be able to plug the phone in directly. Let's see if it works now. So we plug directly in. It buzzed that time. It says DJI products terms of use. I agree. Now it wants me to activate it. Hardware module needs to be activated the first time the camera is connected. Then you have a 1-year warranty. I have to authorize DJI to access the hardware device. I enable it. Now I have to log in. Okay, this is a really complicated process and I'm not a fan of it, DJI. There we go, I got through the login. Now I have to do the activation. It says do not exit the app's interface. Registering, sent the activation to the device. Yeah, this is definitely not a pleasant process. So I'm gonna skip the Osmo Shield and we're done. There's a notice for beginners. It says insert a micro SD card up to 256 gigs. Press and hold to power on and off. Press once to switch between video and photo. Press twice to recenter. Press 3 times to switch back and forth between selfie mode and not. Press once on this button to start and stop recording. Adjust the gimbal's tilt manually using your fingers, or use the virtual joystick on the touchscreen. Swipe the touchscreen to access more features. For better audio quality, do not block the microphone. The microphone again, right here between the buttons, and done. And there's a new firmware. That's the one that just came out, so I'm gonna go ahead and say download. And you can see probably on here, 1.06.00.20, added a tip prompt and display icon when connecting an external mic. Added the option in the settings to turn off the beeping sound when pressing buttons, optimized the UI for pro settings, optimized face detection, reduced focus pulsing when switching between scenes. So that's going to be extraordinarily handy. Some of the issues that I heard with this out of the box were that you couldn't adjust any of the settings on the camera. You had to do, if you were in pro mode especially, you had to actually go into the app while connected, and that's just kind of a pain. So let's install this update. And I forgot I don't have an SD card in it, so let me go find an SD card. All right, SD card in place. We'll hit install. It says installing the latest firmware now, 3%. For some reason it turned off and lost its connection, and now I have to start it all back up again. I guess that's because I put the micro SD card in. So now we're updating the firmware. And while we wait, this is the cover for the Osmo Pocket. It shows here on the side how to actually put it in place. I'd seen a couple of videos that people showed this off. I didn't realize it was a hard side case with it's got a sort of a rubber stretchy silicone band around it with a little cutout in it so that your device attachment can stick out if you want to leave that on. I probably will not. It also has a hole in the bottom if you want to charge while you have it inside the case, so that's convenient. And we are back a few minutes later. It looks like I went through the update, so you can see what the gimbal is seeing, because I can use the joystick on my phone to move around. But ideally, whenever I pull this out, yes, it goes back to using the screen on the device itself. We'll take a quick look at what we can do on the screen. So let's see, swipe down from the top. We've got settings, there's a face, there's picture, autofocus continuous, pro mode, that's the screen brightness. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the brightness up all the way so we can see it. We'll go back to these settings because that was the default. Battery's at 34%, calibration, tilt control, storage, so I have 40 gigs of storage on the 60 gig card, accessories and more. Press the function button to return, and key tone, on or off. I want it off because I don't like the buttons to make noise. This looks like a beauty filter. Oh, this is whether you want full or wide, I guess for the video. I want it to do wide. AFC or AFS, pro mode, tap to enter pro mode. If I swipe over from the right side, photo, video, slow-mo, time-lapse, and pano. I'm going to put it to video because that's what I do. Swipe over from this side. It says loading and it's showing the videos from previously. Swipe up from the bottom. There's a recenter. There's a switch, which would put it into selfie mode. I guess a follow and tilt lock. And that's how you change the video settings. So you swipe over, and then once you've got something selected, you swipe over again. Right now it says 1080p 30. I can change it to 4K 16:9 and go up to 60. And then now we should be, 4K 60, and get myself out of pro mode just to get back to auto for right now. And as soon as I switched out, it went back to, that's a feature I'm not a fan of. It went back to 1080p 30 as soon as I hit that. But now we're on 4K 60 and it says 59:19 in the SD recording. And it may be time to go ahead and try a quick sample. So I'll swipe up and I'll hit flip around. That flips it around, and now it's facing me. It says tracking unavailable for 4K 60, so that's a little bit of a bummer. And I switched to 4K 30, and now it says face track on. Let's just see how it looks and how it sounds. All right, so here's my very first test of the DJI Osmo Pocket in 4K 60 mode. I don't have any sort of face tracking on, so if I move around, it's going to continue trying to focus on me, but it's not going to actually active track me. Let me try that on 4K 30. Now we are on 4K 30. I can see myself on the little screen below. I can't tell if I'm in focus or not though, because it's like this big, but if I move my face around, in theory it should follow me. I would guess I would have to kind of set the camera down for that to happen. Let me try that. All right, I've set the camera down on the table, and now I'm sort of walking around the room a little bit, and you can see it is tracking me pretty quickly. You're able to see a little bit more of the room. If I scoot down, you can see like the table and everything. That's a really neat feature, and it is working decently quickly. I don't know if I'd want to use it for video, but it is very nice to see it working and working pretty well. But the most important thing about this thing is the stabilization, so why don't we go try that out next? All right, a little while later, I let the camera charge. This is walking around the house, 4K 30. I do have face track on. I was kind of curious how it was going to do with a lot of backlighting, because you can see my face gets very dark. I tried it over here just a minute ago, and yeah, it got very, very dark. I turned it into a silhouette because there's so much backlight in this part of the room. So yeah, you can see the lights behind me. It's completely blown out, and I'm completely in shade. So it's kind of hard to see me, but let me know what you think of the video quality, the audio quality. It is still tracking my face, and it has, well, it just said subject lost for a second there, so I guess it got too dark, but I need to look more into this to see what else I can do with it. But I just wanted to give you a very quick sample of what the video looked like, what the audio could sound like. Let's go outside and take a look around there too. So this is walking around outdoors in pretty good light. It's kind of an overcast day. It's a little bit rainy. Just triple tap to flip it around, so now it's face tracking on me. And we're outside the house. It is very bright out, but it's not sunny or anything. So this is what outdoor footage looks like and sounds like. I'm gonna let the wind hit the microphone on the front here, the back of it here. So we'll see if that makes a difference. Let me know what you think. And we're back inside. I switched it back to 4K 60 mode, and I just discovered there's a little teeny tiny rectangle on the screen that I can use to go up and down. So you can see I can pan down, pan up. Really hard to see what I'm shooting while doing that. And I don't see one that does left to right. It says do not operate while shooting. It gets angry when I try that, but I'm still gonna have to take some time to learn how to adequately control this, but it's fun so far. And with that, I think that's where I'm going to wrap this initial look at the DJI Osmo Pocket up for today. I've taken probably 5 to 10 minutes worth of video with this so far. I think more on the edge of like 5 to 7 minutes. And it does say it's at like 98, 97% battery remaining. So it looks like this is going to last for a decently long while. I've heard that it's in the range of like an hour and a half. And the nice thing about it is you do have that USB-C on the bottom. When I get my little adapter for it, it's going to have it out the side. So you can always plug it into a power bank and just take that along with you if you want to record for longer periods of time. The audio actually sounds surprisingly good out of this without any sort of external microphone, but DJI does provide a microphone you can buy. I think it's like $39 for the adapter, and it gives you a 3.5mm jack you can plug into, but then you have this thing sticking out of the bottom that's really awkward. Like I said, the built-in audio wasn't that bad. There's a lot of handling noise though, so you want to be careful about that. Once you're filming, don't move your hand around. Just kind of try to be very stable, and definitely need to spend more time learning the interface. And there are still some controls that you can only do from the phone, but there's a lot more control built into it now. So if you were looking at the Osmo Pocket and you were turned away from it because, well, I can't do the pro controls, or I can't control the frame rates or whatever else, you can do most of that inside the camera now, but there are still some things I'm sure you can't do from here. So just keep that in mind. But for $350 to have a camera this small that can do 4K 60 video, that's ridiculously impressive to me. But also in a form factor this size, keep in mind it is going to get a little bit warm, especially after I took it off the charger. Obviously it's going to be kind of warm there, but after just filming for a few minutes, it was very warm to the touch. So didn't get too hot, didn't burn me, but it gets warm, so just be careful about that. So I will put some links to where you can find this down in the video description. Really looking forward to taking this on trips. I'm going to be going on a trip next week and then another one at the end of May, so there may be some footage coming back from this. There may be some footage from some other cameras that might happen to be back in the corner. I've got a lot of a backlog going on right now. So thank you guys as always for watching and for sticking around. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button down below. I definitely would appreciate it, and welcome you back for any new videos that are coming up. Ding that notification bell if you want to get notified on your phone, your tablet, desktop, whatever, anytime new videos comes out. You can even request all notifications and you can have them be sent to your email. I get emails every day from people that I watch all the time. So if you want to do that, awesome. But otherwise, check this out if you are interested in it. If you're looking for a tiny little camera that can do really nice quality video for $350, it's a steal. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.